Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yasir Ali and I am here with the third lecture of our tutorial series online exam system. So in the last lecture we left over here that we successfully sent the value using Ajax a jQuery method to the page called register. So in this tutorial we have to send the value from this page to the database, but we did not create a database and the configuration to that particular database. So let's do that first. uh, let's create a database first. So go to the localhost and open phpMyAdmin to create a new database for our online exam system. Here is my localhost phpMyAdmin window. Just click on new button to create a new database, and let's name it OES, which is the short form of online exam system. And after creating a database, let's create a first table. Let me name it as OES underscore user, and let's have 3 fields for now. One is for ID, one is for email, and the third one is for password. So 3 columns are required. Go and let's name the first column as, you should give always ID, and it should be unique and a primary key as well. The second one is user email, and the third one is user pass. So give the type as varchar and specify the length. Let's see, we have 150 characters for both. After doing all that, just click save button. So here we have created the database called OES online exam system, and inside that OES database we have created one table for the user, and now we have to work with this table. For that we need a value, so let's enter a dummy value as well. For example, so we have a table called OES user, and inside the table we have one record, user email and the user password. So let's move back to the coding to do something further. Next we have to link our PHP script with this database. So for that purpose, first of all we have to create a configuration file. Let's create another new PHP file, and inside that file specify the database credentials. Let's save this file first in the directory which is config. Always try to use new folders for each separate category in order to manage the files in your project properly. So let me name it config.php. so after that, define some constants for host as localhost, because I am just running this site locally, and when I'll be uploading this site online, I'll be changing this with the credentials given by the hosting provider. So another constant with the define, and inside this constant I have to use user as root, define pass. I did not give any password while installing the XAMPP. Again, define db as the name of the DB that we have just created, OES. So these are our database credentials. We will be using this file in other file in which we will be linking database with the MySQL. So let's do that create another file and name it. As I've earlier mentioned that we will be using object oriented programming, so now this is the first lecture in which you must probably be introduced to the database. For example, let me name it lib or library, and inside it I have to create a class. Mind you, I have given this database file name and I've started the file name from the capital letter because I have to create a class with this name as well. So it's preferable to give the file name starting with the capital letter. So database, inside it I have to create a class, and the class name should be same as that of file name. Inside this class, let's create a constructor method first. Function construct. As we know that constructor don't have any access specified, public, private are protected. So in order to access all those variables that we have created, all those constants that we have created in the config file, we have to declare some variables. For example, the first variable is host, the second is user, and the pass, and the db. So initialize these variables with the constants given in the previous file. So let's link that file first. In order to do that, I have to use this method provided by PHP, a real path, and then inside it their name. This would give you the directory, root directory of this project folder, and inside it I have to use this magic constant to get the file and store this into the variable. For example, let's name it a path. So what I'll be getting in this particular variable, let's echo it and check it. Let's do it in a separate tab, quiz, and then lib, and then database.php. So this is what we actually are getting, the directory or the folder name in which this file is residing. For example, database is residing in library folder, so that's why we are getting this lib. So this was just for checking purpose. After that, we have to include the file which is config, so write include once just for the protection, and here I have to use this path that I have generated over here dynamically, and with this I concatenate the config. So I have to come out this folder from lib to the previous folder. For that I have used 2 time dots to move into the previous directory, and then write the name of the directory config, and inside this config folder we have config.php file. So let's see whether it is connected or not. Let's check the path. Copy this whole string and echo it just to get it, just to check whether is it showing the actual path to that file or not. Yes. To check this, just copy it and paste it over here. Yes. this path is correct, so remove this. And this as well. So we have included the config file over here in the database. So I think this is enough for today. So we'll be continuing right from this point inshallah in the next video. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching and liking my videos.